I'm gripping the wheel so hard the ridges bite into my palms. The Jeep's headlights carving tunnels through fog thick as wool. The road to the cabin is a ribbon of memory. Every bend, every pine that claws at the sky, every pothole that rattles my teeth. 9 weeks. 9 weeks of diving in the coral triangle, chasing reef fish through turquoise, sleeping in a hammock strung between palms, no signal, no tether to the world I left behind. I told myself the cabin would be waiting, cedar and salt and silence, the way Grandma kept it. I was wrong. The cliff drops away on my left, the ocean a black roar below. I crest the final rise and there it is. My cabin, lights blazing like a stranger's party. My stomach knots. I kill the engine. The sudden quiet is deafening, just wind and waves and my pulse in my ears. My duffel's in the back, crusted with Indonesian sand. My phone's dead. My heart's already running. Gravel crunches under my boots. The front door is unlocked. That's wrong. I always lock it. Always. Inside the air is wrong too. Lemon polish and new money, not pine pitch and sea salt. The pine plank floors I sanded by hand, bleeding splinters into my fingers, are buried under a cream wool rug thick enough to swallow sound. The riverstone fireplace I laid brick by brick, cursing every jagged edge, is flanked by 2 white armchairs so pristine they look afraid to be touched. My grandmother's whale oil lamp, the one she carried across 3 states in a covered wagon, its glass cracked from a prairie storm, is gone. In its place, a chrome arc lamp that costs more than my first research grant. I drop my duffel. It lands with a thud that echoes like a gunshot in this sterile gallery. Bare feet on hardwood. Lila appears in the kitchen doorway, backlit, a glass of white wine catching the light like a stage prop. Her hair's shorter, dyed the color of wet sand, twisted up in a knot that looks effortless but probably took an hour. She's wearing my robe, the faded terry one I stole from a dive lodge in Belize, threadbare at the elbows, smelling of sunscreen and salt. It hangs loose on her, sleeves rolled twice, like she's been here forever. You're early, she says, smiling the way she did when we were kids and she'd raid my Halloween candy, leaving me the black licorice. Surprise. My voice comes out scraped raw, like I've swallowed sand. Where is everything? She gestures with the glass, a lazy sweep that takes in the whole room. Out with the old, in with the fabulous. You should see the bedroom. The new bed has a remote that adjusts firmness, temperature, massage. You'll thank me when your back stops screaming after those god-awful boat bunks. I move past her, boots leaving faint sandy prints on the new runner. The kitchen island, my butcher block slab, scarred from 1,000 crab boils, etched with my initials from a drunk night in grad school, is gone. Replaced by quartz so white it hurts to look at. Veined with gold like a rich person's bloodstream. My cast iron pans, blackened from decades of chowder, hang on a magnetic strip like surgical tools. The fridge hums, stainless and fingerprintless. A single magnet. A glossy photo of Lila and Marcus on some yacht, tanned and laughing, captioned living our best life. I open the fridge. 6 bottles of Sauvignon Blanc, chilled to precision. A charcuterie board wrapped in plastic. Prosciutto folded like origami. No trace of the leftover clam chowder I froze in Tupperware labeled Elena. Do not touch in Sharpie. The hallway to the bedroom feels longer than I remember, like the house itself is stretching to keep me away. My boots echo. I push open the door. The bed is a fortress of hotel whiteness, pillows stacked like cumulus clouds. My iron headboard, Grandma's, forged in 1938, each spindle carved into a different ocean creature. Whale, octopus, seahorse, starfish, is missing. The quilt she pieced from flour sacks and her mother's wedding dress, every stitch a story of scarcity and love, is gone. On the wall, a massive abstract painting in shades of beige, so large it crowds the room. It looks like expensive nothing, the kind of art that says I have money but no soul. I open the closet. My wetsuits, salt stiff and patched with duct tape, are gone. My dive logs, water-stained and annotated in 3 colors of pen, are gone. My childhood rock collection, agates, jasper, a piece of petrified whalebone I found at low tide, are gone. In their place, Marcus's Italian loafers lined up like soldiers, soles barely scuffed. Lila's silk blouses on padded hangers, arranged by color gradient. A safe. Combination lock. I don't know the code. I turn. She's in the doorway, leaning against the frame, wine glass tilting dangerously. How much? I ask. 62,000, give or take. She sips, pinky out. Invoices in your email. I use the Amex with the best points. You can Zelle me whenever. I'll even waive the late fee if you're nice. The room tilts. I grip the door frame to stay upright. You spent $62,000 redecorating my house and you want me to pay for it. Technically, it's an investment. She steps closer, robe slipping off one shoulder. The listing agent says you, could flip it for double. You're welcome. I laugh. It sounds like breaking glass, sharp and ugly. Get out. She blinks, smile faltering for the first time. Excuse me. Pack your silk blouses and your yacht husband and get out of my house. Her face hardens, cheekbones sharp as switchblades. Marcus and I are here through September. The loft is gutted, new hardwood, new HVAC, new everything. You're never here in summer anyway. You said so yourself, in that email about Palau. I said I was in Indonesia for research. I didn't say move in and sell my childhood. She steps closer, wine sloshing. Don't be dramatic, Elena. This place was a time capsule. You were one dead seagull away from a hoarding intervention. I saved you. I walk past her, down the hall, into the guest room, my office. The desk I built from driftwood and epoxy, its surface scarred with coffee rings and grant deadlines, is gone. In its place, a glass slab on chrome legs, cold and impersonal. Marcus's laptop is open to Zillow. My cabin listed as *motivated seller, oceanfront gem, fully renovated. * professional photos I've never seen. The white sectional, the quartz island, the beige painting. Price, $1.4 million. Virtual tour includes a drone shot of my deck at sunset. I unplug the laptop. Close it. Tuck it under my arm. Lila follows, voice rising. That's theft. No, I say, turning to face her. This is. I open the deck door. The fog has lifted. The moon paints the waves silver, restless. The lockbox on the railing is pried open, the spare key dangling like a taunt. I pocket it. You use my emergency key. It's not breaking and entering if you have access. She crosses her arms, robe gaping. It's family privilege. It's trespassing. It's theft. My voice cracks raw as a fresh wound. It's erasing me. She rolls her eyes, a gesture so familiar it hurts. You're exhausted. Jet-lagged. Sleep it off. We'll talk in the morning over mimosas. I got blood oranges. There is no morning. There's you leaving. Now. She laughs, sharp and brittle. Or what? You'll call Mom? Tell her I made your shack look like a Pinterest board? She'll laugh. She helped pick the paint color. I freeze. Mom knew. Lila's smile is a blade. Who do you think suggested the quartz? I pull out my phone, still dead. I plug it into the kitchen outlet, hands shaking. While it charges, I open the security app one installed after the break-in scare last spring. I'd forgotten it existed. Cloud storage. Motion activated. 3 cameras. Front door, deck, living room. I hit play. Timestamp. July 12th, 6:47 a.m. Lila, in oversized sunglasses and a sun hat, directing 2 movers as they carry out my couch. She's laughing, phone to her ear. One mover asks where to put the old junk. She points to a dumpster the size of a small car. July 15th, 2:13 p.m. Lila and a designer, tall blonde, clipboard, standing where my fireplace used to be. Designer. We'll lose the rustic vibe entirely? Lila. God yes. Elena's taste is nautical garage sale. Make it look like nobody lives here, but expensively. July 18th, 9:22 p.m. Marcus loading my dive tanks into his Tesla. He pauses to take a selfie with the crates, captioning it *, clearing out the clutter for the flip. *, then he drives off. July 20th, 11:05 a.m. Lila in the bedroom, opening my closet, pulling out my wetsuits one by one. She holds up my favorite, a faded blue 5mm with a patch shaped like a manta ray, and wrinkles her nose. Goodwill. The designer nods. Lila tosses it into a trash bag. I save every clip. Email them to myself. To Priya, my lawyer. To the cloud. To a folder labeled evidence. Lila watches, face paling beneath her tan. You can't use that. It's private. Watch me. I walk to the safe in the closet. Punch in Grandma's birthday, August 14th, 26. It clicks open. Inside, my dive watch, stopped at 3:17, the day I left for Palau. My grandfather's war medals, tarnished but intact. A manila envelope labeled estate docs. I take it all. Lila lunges. That's private. No, I say, stepping around her. This is. I leave her standing in the bedroom, wine glass trembling. I sleep in the Jeep, windows cracked, ocean roaring like it's angry on my behalf. The seat reclines just enough to cradle my spine. I dream of Grandma's hands, rough from years of fishing nets, braiding my hair on the deck while gulls wheeled overhead. Morning tastes like rust and regret. I drive to the storage unit in town, a concrete bunker on the edge of the industrial park. Unit 47B. My name on the lease. My credit card billed $1,200 a month for 3 months. The manager, a kid with a neck tattoo of a kraken, recognizes me from the photo on file. Your sister said you were out of the country. Paid cash for 3 months up front. Said it was a surprise. She's not my sister. She's a thief. He unlocks the roll-up door. The smell hits first, mildew and despair. Inside, my life in cardboard, lit by a single flickering bulb. My couch, slashed open, stuffing spilling like entrails. My driftwood desk, legs snapped like kindling. My grandmother's rocking chair, reduced to splinters, one arm carved with E+G 1942. A box labeled fragile, Elena's childhood, smashed open. Inside, shattered sea glass, glinting like broken promises. A cracked photo of me and Grandma at age 6, building a sandcastle shaped like a whale. Her arm around my sunburned shoulders. A note in her shaky handwriting, taped to the back. Asterisk for Elena. You always saw the ocean in me. Asterisk. I sit on the concrete and cry until my ribs ache, until the Kraken kid brings me coffee in a paper cup that says world's okayest diver. I wipe my face with my sleeve. You want me to call the cops? Not yet. I take photos. Every splinter. Every shard. Every tear in the couch where I fell asleep watching Jaws with Grandma, age 10, hiding behind her quilt. Then I drive to the flea market on the edge of Portland. A sprawl of tarps and tables under a gray sky. Booth 22. The vendor who bought Grandma's whalebone necklace is still there. A woman with purple hair and a nose ring. She remembers Lila, pretty redhead, said it was her grandma's, needed quick cash for a deposit on a condo. Paid $8,500 cash. Seemed desperate. I buy the necklace back for $200. She throws in a cracked abalone shell for free. Family, right, she says. I don't answer. Back in Seattle, I hole up in my apartment above the dive shop. A cramped studio that smells of neoprene and coffee. I charge my phone. 47 missed calls. 23 texts. 12 voicemails. All Lila. You're overreacting. Asterisk Marcus says we can split the renovation costs 50/50ths. He's being generous. Asterisk. Asterisk Mom's crying. File. Your sister said you were out of the country. Paid cash for 3 months up front. Said it was a surprise. She's not my sister. She's a thief. He unlocks the roll-up door. The smell hits first, mildew and despair. Inside, my life in cardboard, lit by a single flickering bulb. My couch, slashed open, stuffing spilling like entrails. My driftwood desk, legs snapped like kindling. My grandmother's rocking chair, reduced to splinters, one arm carved with E+G 1942. A box labeled fragile, Elena's childhood, smashed open. Inside, shattered sea glass, glinting like broken promises. A cracked photo of me and Grandma at age 6, building a sandcastle shaped like a whale. Her arm around my sunburned shoulders. A note in her shaky handwriting, taped to the back. Asterisk for Elena. You always saw the ocean in me. Asterisk. I sit on the concrete and cry until my ribs ache, until the Kraken kid brings me coffee in a paper cup that says world's okayest diver. I wipe my face with my sleeve. You want me to call the cops? Not yet. I take photos. Every splinter. Every shard. Every tear in the couch where I fell asleep watching Jaws with Grandma, age 10, hiding behind her quilt. Then I drive to the flea market on the edge of Portland. A sprawl of tarps and tables under a gray sky. Booth 22. The vendor who bought Grandma's whalebone necklace is still there. A woman with purple hair and a nose ring. She remembers Lila, pretty redhead, said it was her grandma's, needed quick cash for a deposit on a condo. Paid $8,500 cash. Seemed desperate. I buy the necklace back for $200. She throws in a cracked abalone shell for free. Family, right, she says. I don't answer. Back in Seattle, I hole up in my apartment above the dive shop. A cramped studio that smells of neoprene and coffee. I charge my phone. 47 missed calls. 23 texts. 12 voicemails. All Lila. You're overreacting. Asterisk Marcus says we can split the renovation costs 50/50ths. He's being generous. Asterisk. Asterisk Mom's crying. She says you've always been jealous. Asterisk. Call me or I'm changing the locks. I block them all. Then Marcus. Then Mom. Then the house phone I haven't answered since high school. I open the manila envelope from the safe. Inside, Grandma's will, notarized and crisp. Handwritten codicil, dated 6 months before she died, when her hands shook too much to hold a pen steady. Asterisk to my granddaughter Elena Marlowe. The cabin at Cliff's Edge, the whalebone necklace, the driftwood table I built with Grandpa in '52, the painting of the storm at sea by Elias Crow. Lila has enough. Elena has earned this. She sees the world the way I did, through salt and wonder. Asterisk. I call Priya. She's a shark in a pantsuit, all sharp edges and sharper questions. I email her the footage, the will, the receipts, the storage lease, the flea market photos. She calls back in 20 minutes, voice like a blade. We're suing for trespass, conversion of property, fraud, intentional infliction of emotional distress. And I'm looping in the DA. Your sister's been looting your grandmother's estate for years. Your grandfather had dementia. That's elder abuse. Felony territory. I sit on my kitchen floor, surrounded by dive logs and takeout containers, and feel something shift. Not rage. Resolve. Cold and clean as glacier runoff. The cease and desist lands on Lila's doorstep via courier, certified mail, return receipt requested. She responds with a countersuit, filed in Superior Court. Asterisk Elena gave verbal permission for renovations and indefinite occupancy. Renovations were a gift. Emotional distress from threats of litigation and family estrangement. Asterisk she wants $80,000 plus punitive damages. Priya laughs, a sound like ice cracking. Let her try. We'll bury her in discovery. We depose the interior designer in a glass conference room that smells of lemon and fear. She cracks in 10 minutes, manicured nails tapping the table. Lila said Elena was too busy saving fish to care. She paid in cash. Calls it dilapidated. The jury shifts uncomfortably. Priya plays the security footage on a massive screen. The jury gasps when Lila laughs about the nautical garage sale. They cry when I hold up the cracked photo of me and Grandma. My 6-year-old gap-toothed grin, her arm around me like a promise. I tell them about the quilt, the stitches made by lamplight during the Depression. About the driftwood table, built with Grandpa's hands shaking from Parkinson's. About the whalebone necklace, carved by an Inuit trader in 1923, traded for a sack of flour and a promise. The judge, a woman with steel gray hair and no patience for theatrics, rules in my favor. Lila owes $28,000 for destroyed property, $15,000 in legal fees, and must vacate the cabin within 48 hours. Her countersuit is dismissed with prejudice. The judge's gavel sounds like a door slamming on a life I no longer recognize. But the real hammer comes from the DA. Grand theft. LD exploitation. Felony fraud. Lila's indicted on 6 counts. Bail. $50,000. Mom and Dad remortgage their house. Faces gray as the courtroom walls. Lila makes bail but not eye contact. I don't attend the criminal trial. I'm in the Philippines knee-deep in coral spawn, teaching kids to transplant fragments onto dead reef. My phone buzzes with updates from Priya, delivered between dives. Day 1. Lila pleads not guilty, cream silk replaced by an orange jumpsuit. Day 3. The antique dealer testifies, produces receipts and a ledger. Day 5. The jury deliberates for 45 minutes, returns with guilty on all counts. Sentencing: 26 months in state prison, 5 years probation, $92,000 restitution. She'll be out in 18 with good behavior, but the record will follow her like barnacles. I return to the cabin in January, the air sharp with pine and salt. The white furniture is gone. Curbside pickup within hours, claimed by college kids and flippers. I rip up the cream rug with a box cutter, reveal the pine floors, sand them by.